Day 7. Oh no, Anatoly's crying milk. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Mariah. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Karen. How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anatoly and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Karen. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Karen. I'm sure Anatoly will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much. Karen's hands are involuntarily shaking. Gregor and Anatoly just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Mariah will make it back? She promised. Everyone retreats to their areas. What do you want to do today? Let's see what Gregor is doing. Gregor seems to be coping through knitting. Surprising, but good for you. Why is his neck so dark? Or why is his face... His face and neck do not match. Thanks for keeping everyone's spirits high. I know it's what Mariah would have wanted. Don't you think? Have you heard the noises? Sometimes I think I hear Mariah outside, saying something I can't make out. Comes out and gasps. Like she's trying to clear water from her throat. But, yeah, like, starvation does a lot of weird things to people, and it's pretty horrific. Because even in the University of Minnesota study where people, like, signed up to do it, like, you can't prepare for what it does to you because, like when they interviewed the guy who tried to cut off his hand later when he, like, recovered, he was like, I don't know why I did that. So, honestly, we're either being haunted, like, factually, or just because meat brains do horrible things when you do not fulfill the basic, needs. I can hear her crying, and I never heard Mariah cry. Have you heard Mariah at night? No, I've had my own shit. Oh. I'm starting to lose it then. Please don't tell the others, okay? The others need to know you're crying like an egg. No, your secret's safe with me. Fucking... Probably just the sound of the storm anyways. Right? Gregor will remember that. Okay, I was like, I don't know what direction that's gonna go in with me being like, no, I did not hear it. You leave Gregor to his delusions. Hey, fucking, you don't know what he's hearing. You've been having demon nightmares every night. I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with just bread and jam. I'd be fine with just the strawberries. Nobody else laughs. I would kill for some vegetables right about now. You would too. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. Good night. Good night. But you only dream about desecrating a corpse. Oh good. You wake up in a cold sweat. In a completely different room. I hate it. I hate it a lot. Good morning. Karen's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? Cook. Take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it on the oven. You cooked meat. Very tiny. Very worried. I hate this. Where did you get that? You ignore Karen's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch. Where did you... Sui are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting it into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? Achievement unlocked. A downward spiral. Yay. You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden, so you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. You think this is Mariah? Anatoly runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. It's definitely people. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Apparently people taste like pork, is what I've heard. Gregor wanders off. Anatoly returns, looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Anatoly. Takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay. Karen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? I think Anatoly needs some TLC. You knock on the door first. Anatoly, you slowly open the door. Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. I think it was a mental thing. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. Also, honestly, apparently eating people is not good for you. Like, your body doesn't like it, so... It's probably not just a mental thing. You nod. Thank you. You're sure Anatoly will remember that. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up parts of the kitchen. Hours pass. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Oh, there's a spooky face. Oh, have there been spooky faces before? Because there's a spooky face. It's like a tight and like, face. Spooky. Eating will just make them hungrier. Oh, spooky face is gone. They're fine now, but as soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? Calmly explain you want to ration the meat better this time, and there'll be no dinner. Fine. I understand. I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow than more today. No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly tonight. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forage anything, he says. Your eyes have been giving you issues lately, so you reply, forage me a new eye then. You laugh. But then the ropes come out. He ties you to the chair with a long rope to prevent you from struggling. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker rope. No turning back now. He takes a hot poker out of the coals. Holding it in front of his face, you can see his beard and eyes watching you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. You vomit all over your chest, as the smell of your desiccated eye floods your nostrils. Decimated. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body. Rude. You wake in a cold sweat. Hate it. You wake up and see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look at the window. Do you notice anything? The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone's still bound to the cabin. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. Good morning, big guy. Will Mariah make it back? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m. I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. To be fair, you snore like an animal. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Yes. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I sometimes hear her crying through the radio, but that's just a broadcast, right? Also hate that. I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. These faces are scary. One step closer to Mariah. It's what she would have wanted. What's gotten into you, Anatoly? Anatoly's eyes look at you, begging. Bring us another slab. Okay, this one is scary, but also just seems a little memey. It seems like those, Japanese joke masks with the little, like, mouth thingy. Please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Please help me. Anatoly looks pained at Anatoly's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You gather some of the meat from a secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron of water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole, like a duck does when eating bread. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth using a spoon. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Mariah. Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Karen. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Karen is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. This is why you should at least bring fucking salt. How could you be so careless again? You remember Karen's knife? You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? The storm isn't ending. Clear your throat. Anatoly. Yes. I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Or forage for plants outside. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after a few hours. Gregor's right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there. I think Mariah's fine by herself. Still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Anatoly. That's right, Anatoly. Please help us. Let me sleep on it. Okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Mariah, something is approaching. Hey, Onion. Just fucking, I love the something's approaching and just hearing, Onion! Don't be a crybaby, it's just me. Onion. Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Anatoly. He's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust me? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. That was a lie. Yeah, it was like, that is sounding like some crunchy mom anti-vax shit. I don't know if I believe that. The fun factoid of that myth, people actually believed it in the 1500s. How embarrassing. Who would believe that? There even was a doctor in 1919 who caused a surge of people believing in it. Anyways, you know what smells like raw onion left in a room? You! It's been a while since your last bath, right? Can't remember? Could smell you before I even came into the room. Achievement unlocked, don't be a crybaby. Yikes. So, can you stop Anatoly from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. It'll be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving. Please. We don't need another one stalking the hallways. Tapping on the windows, crying throughout the radio. You have a sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Scared to death that I'll run into her. Don't make me tattle the cabbage about you. She can be as mean as Potato if you get on her bad side. Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Anatoly you care about him and don't want him to leave, even if it's just for me, okay? You can trust me. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. They're made out of butter slices, so I'll get to skate around the frying pan tomorrow. Later. Also, anyone feeling like these onions are, like, dead kids? Because I'm feeling a little bit, like this is a Beauty and the Beast scenario, or like with like the people being turned into like a candelabra and whatever, or a fucking Five Nights at Freddy's situation where fucking restless souls are trapped in inanimate objects. Your mind finally manages to forget everything that happened. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. Things are not fucking going well. I feel bad about it. You have a strange dream. A fox is collecting payment in your living room. Animal Crossing? You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack, and then add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will eventually open the sack, and the dogs tear the fox in half. Filled with such loathing for the fox, you gave him only the things you had for food, all those chickens. As the snow piles up outside, you begin to eat whatever you can find. pillowcases, candles, leather. One day you wake up and have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. Just an insatiable hunger. A few days later, you go mad and leave the cabin, completely ravenous. A nearby tree looks like charred meat. Your iron teeth cut through the tree bark, tearing your gums apart in the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood. Days later, a deer gallops by. The first creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. I don't like what's going on. Something smells terrible in the living room. Someone puked in a corner. You wipe it with a rag and save them the embarrassment. Also, like, I figured Anatoly puked in the corner, but it also kind of sounded like we puked in the corner. We're like, somebody puked in the corner. No one can say who it was, though. Good morning, little guy. Well, Anatoly, what's your decision? Achievement, her face being scary, and achievement is called bad ideas. I barely slept last night. Her whispers came through one of the holes in the floor. She kept telling me to come outside. We don't want to rush you, but one of us puked last night. So that's what that smell was. Anatoly, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. Why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. Her face isn't like a spooky face, that's just her face and she's fucking hungry. Can see the glint of Karen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. The group disperses. Tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you do? Feel like we talk with the Chompets. Feel like everyone else is just going crazy, so we might as well go our own crazy. None of the fun Chompets are around. Thankfully, Potatoes kept hidden this entire time. And nothing we can call our own but death. And that small model of the barren earth, which serves as paste and cover for our bones. Oh, sorry, didn't see you creeping up behind me. I was reciting my favorite line from William Shakespeare. Do you know which play it's from? It wasn't one with the weird sisters. You take a wild guess. That's right. The Life and Death of King Richard II. Before I came to this cabin, I used to read all of the classics. Why did I stop? I can't turn the page with just my tongue. Yet these are dead kids in fucking vegetable form. Hell, I can't even nudge a book off the bookshelf. Pathetic, right? You nod. Yeah. I've been watching your progress so far, and I must say, very strange choices, even for someone like you. I've wondered why you're so accommodating for these four. Pity I didn't receive the same treatment. Oh well. Excuse my rambling. Are you here for another survival lesson? You shrug. Excellent. No shame in preparing for the absolute worst. 36 hours have passed. You have no food. What happens? For starters, your brain stops craving glucose. But there's a good reason for that. Your guts have begun shrinking, and your livers have transformed fatty acids into chemical compounds called ketone bodies. Have I lost you already? There's books on the bookshelf that can explain all of this. Anyways, ketone bodies mimic glucose for the brain and provide about 2/3 of the energy needed to function. Sounds pretty great, right? Oh, my sweet summer child. Using ketone bodies gradually acidifies your blood, which can lead to ketoacidosis, which is a thing that diabetics have to look out for, I believe. Ketoacidosis is common in diabetics. Hey, look at me, being a science. Fucking my bachelor's in science is not useless. When I said I wasn't a scientist earlier, I was a fucking liar. But how do you know if you have ketoacidosis? Well, a large amount of acetone is released in your urine and respiratory system. Your breath will smell something like fingernail polish. Huh. which smells like... I can't remember. No nose to smell now. But looking at your face, I bet your breath smells much worse. If only the Chompets had something nice to say about you. Here, have another recipe card. You unlocked potatoes recipe. I personally wouldn't make it, but you've a taste for things like this, don't you? You don't argue? Let's talk again, shall we? I won't be leaving here. Far too dangerous to go exploring right now. Shut the door and call everyone together for a meeting. But... okay. I was just like, there's not, like, a menu I should be fucking with, because... yeah. Anatoly, you okay, little guy? Anatoly looks pale, like he's going to pass out. Anatoly, have you made a decision? Yes. I'll help you all out. I promise. Thank you, Anatoly. Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks. I'll miss you, big guy. Everyone has fucking feelings, and Karen's over here being like, fuck yeah, eating tonight. Miss you, little guy. Thank you, Anatoly. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best. Karen? Yes? Gregor looks at you expectantly. Did you want to say anything to Anatoly? You say nothing. We have betrayed Onion. He will remember this. Goodbye, Anatoly. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy. Anatoly has left the cabin. Yay. See you soon, little guy. I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Karen goes to the bedroom to sleep. I didn't tell him the truth. Gregor is getting choked up. I didn't tell him... missing him already. Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear scraping from the floor. Found you. Ha ha ha. You explain how it isn't a good time right now. It's no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He's as tall as a tree, but dumb as a brick. What's the root of that? Ha ha ha. Another cornbread classic. You're being very unpopular right now. Unpopular. Yeah, I got there. That's a tree reference. Get it? Fucking got there when I learned how to read. Anyways, you need to protect Gregor from this red-haired woman. Cabbage called an emergency Chompet meeting and told everyone to give you this mission. Watch out for that knife. Protect Gregor. Achievement unlocked, no laughing matter. At all costs. Understood? You nod. It's the least you can do, right? You tell Bread that the pun didn't make sense. On a roll today, see you around. Bread hops away, squeezing himself through the mouse hole with a small pop. You fall asleep, think about what Bread told you. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take off the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench, working the saw. This is happening in this fucking creepy basement. You wrap the cuts in an old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you begin drying the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You heard something approaching, so you clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. Things are not going well. So I think there is where I'm going to stop for today. But if you all would like to join me on Tuesday to play more of this, because it's been interesting, yeah, I'll be live Tuesday around 10. Bye.